Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. So excited to be here today to talk about the total solar eclipse that is happening in Aries that has been literally, this eclipse season has been kicking our asses, okay? There's no other way to go around this. The energy and the potency of this time, it has proven to be quite dramatic, quite intense, so much going on. And so I'm excited that I'm able to read into the energies in this way so that we can at least try to understand how we are all really being affected and what are we being called towards. That's really important to understand about eclipse season. It's a time of revolution. It's a time of change. And when you're in it, everything that shows up in your life is like a theme that you're going to be working through for the next 6 months. And then also the energy of new beginnings is here in that way. And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's also the closing of the last 6 months cycle with the last eclipses. So for example, I'll give you a personal example of mine. We're currently building our house on our property, and 6 months ago, when we had the Libra eclipse that actually passed through here, it was a new moon eclipse in Libra, and it went right over our property, and we said a prayer, and obviously for the building of the house and all that stuff. And then 6 months later, we are like officially like full on building, all that good stuff. So it's exciting to see that. And that's what I mean by these things are all connected to each other. And if you think back, like what was going on 6 months ago, you're going to get you're going to see big connections in your life. So pay attention to what is showing up. Let me actually take a moment before we dive in to say hi to everyone that is here. Hello, Carmelola. Welcome in. I'm already getting hot. Hello, Alexa. Hello, Bernadine and Raessa. Welcome in. It has been a while. We are doing so good and so excited that you came into this broadcast. So before we dive into the astrology and talk about, the aspects, look at the chart, all that stuff, I do want to make a couple of awesome announcements and reminders. Hello, Belinda. You too, it's been a while, but glad to see you here. So the first announcement is that my new book, Seasons and Stargates, Your Annual Astrology Guide 2024-2025 is now available. And the link that is on my website is good for international purchases as well. Hello, Marisela. So those of you guys that are overseas, you can actually purchase the book. The first link had an issue. I was under the impression that it would work for international purchases, and then I found out that it didn't. And so anyways, if you are international, you can purchase the book through this link. But also, you guys, you should be able to find it on Amazon now, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, look for it either on Amazon, or if you get it directly from me, obviously you're gonna help me out more because I make more that way. But if you have trouble purchasing it through the link, if you do have the whole international thing, I love that, Alexa, then you can also try finding it on Amazon. Anyways, or Ingram Spark. You might be able to buy it, I guess, directly from them. But anyways, the book is out. I'm so excited about it. It's a whole annual astrology guide. And then the workbook is also out as well. This one is an ebook format, but it's the companion to the main book. Hello, Marie. Welcome in. So definitely check those out. I'll be reading a little bit from the book today of what I wrote about this new moon total solar eclipse in Aries. So well done. Did you get a copy? I love that. Marisela says, I got my book yesterday. And yeah, she's thick and heavy. It's thick and heavy, but it's like the astrology for the entire year. So that's pretty amazing that I actually got that done in time. So the other awesome thing, if you didn't know, I am teaching an astrology school called the STARSEED Astrology School, and we're learning how to basically do starseed readings. We've covered Andromeda, we've covered Hathor, Venusian starseed markings, we've covered the Pleiades, Orion. We've covered the darkness to light portal and talked about Algol. And we're going to continue, and we're looking into the mythology of the stars and how to interpret starseed markings in the chart by looking at the fixed stars and the stories behind the fixed stars. So it's been so much fun, you guys. We still have a few weeks left. This is a 6-week course. And there are replays. Everything is recorded. So come join us if you feel called. This week, we're going to be covering Sirius, Stargates, and Starseeds, Regulus, and then Ursa Major and the Leah Quiche Starseeds. So that has been so much fun. Definitely check it out. And if you did not know, I also want to invite you to join our global community, which is a free platform where I host free events. We're going to be doing our Aries new moon celebration and Club Jai virtual dance party on a private Zoom webinar. And you can get access to it if you're part of the global community. I was like, okay, we have to do Club Jai. We took a break for a minute, but we got to do Club Jai for this eclipse because the energy is definitely crazy. But if you also want to join us in the global community, what I host on there are basically all of my courses. And I want to make a special invitation for the STARSEED membership, because in this STARSEED membership, I am guiding everyone through the entire astrological year using the book and the workbook, Seasons and Stargates. So it's kind of like if you want to be guided through the book and understand things at an even deeper level astrologically, then this is a great way to do it through the STARSEED membership. It's a $22 a month commitment, and you get your first week for free. So super awesome. All right, let's come back to me for a second, and please let me know how the connection is. Lately, the Wi-Fi's and stuff, they've been funky, and so just want to make sure that you guys can at least hear me. So, hello, Raessa. She got her book on a Monday. I love it. And she found the Orion constellation last night. I think I saw Aries, Taurus, and Cancer. Nice. I love that. Yeah, Orion is like 100% my freaking favorite. So let's dive right in. This is the chart for the total eclipse in Aries, which is happening on April 8th on Monday at around 11:20 a.m. Make sure if you're in the path of totality, if you live in the United States, you may very likely be in the path of totality or anywhere where you can actually see the eclipse. So search like Google path of totality, search your area and search the time that it's going to happen, so that you can actually go see it. Of course, get eclipse glasses and all that good stuff to protect your eyes. But yes, definitely something that you don't want to miss, because it is like total, and it means that for 4.5 minutes, there will be total darkness. Like the birds are going to think it's nighttime and they're going to go to bed. And it's crazy. The shadows turn all weird and faded, and it's like really, really, really cool experience. So don't miss it if you live somewhere along the path of totality. That's definitely going to be where it's going to be the strongest. Alexa says Hopi and Eagle and Condor tribes are preparing for this historic eclipse. We should catch up one day. Oh, I love that, Alexa. Yes. So why is this eclipse such a big deal? Well, it is actually the only eclipse that we're going to have for the whole year in Aries. So we've had the nodes in Aries and Libra for about, let's see, it's an 18th month cycle, like 9 months. And that's we're halfway through. And we have eclipses that happen very close to the nodes. That's always how eclipses happen. And so if you, when you have the eclipses, they will happen in the sign that the nodes are in. For example, Aries and Libra is what we're seeing right now. But the next time around, in 6 months, we're going to see one more Libra eclipse, and then we're going to see a lunar eclipse in Pisces. It's not going to be in Aries. So this year it's like we will only have one solar eclipse in Aries, and it will be total. I'll be hibernating for the eclipse. Oh, the Dene tradition says that we will need to be in prayer and tobacco and not looking up. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Belinda. Yes, everyone has specific traditions when it comes to the eclipses, and they're powerful no matter how you choose to experience them. And I love that, being in prayer and in meditation. That's another beautiful, powerful way. I'm going to be here on the land with my husband doing ceremony for sure on the land, and definitely laying down some prayers and of gratitude as well. Since the last eclipse, we've had such powerful growth and forward movement that it's been super amazing. So a lot of people are going to Texas because that's like one of the biggest, like Austin, I think is going to be packed. I think they're doing like a total festival there. At the same time, like I love myself, like these epic like moments of eclipses. And then at the same time, it's like the big crowds are not for me. So I don't feel comfortable doing that, going and being in big crowds during moments like this, because like Belinda just mentioned, sometimes what's really needed is like the quiet and the focus and like the meditation and the prayer, and that intention. It's like setting an intention, because we have to remember, if we zoom in here, that this is a new moon that we are going to be having this eclipse fall under. And because it's total, you'll see it's very close to the North Node, just a few degrees away from the North Node. And that means that the first important thing is that this eclipse is a North Node eclipse. That is a really good thing. And that's why this eclipse is very auspicious. The eclipse with the North Node is a guiding towards the future, a guiding towards destiny, focusing on moving forward, letting go what is behind so that we can focus on moving forward. Aries also, if you think about the sign of Aries, it has to do with action, drive, and motivation. And that is because it is ruled by Mars. And Mars wants to go. And in Aries, it's at its strongest energy. Mars is not in Aries right now. Mars is actually in, let's do this. Mars is actually in Pisces. And so he is the ruler of the eclipse. And he finds himself in Pisces making but Saturn is determination. He is the Lord of time and karma, which does connect him to the energy of the karmic healing that we're doing with the eclipses. But also Saturn is determination, ambition, setting goals, long-term goals, getting serious, doing mature things, like being mature about stuff, taking mature action. So it's going to bring up determination and action that is needed for us to actually take action to move in the direction to which we want to go. And they're both in Pisces, which is a sign of spirituality, spiritual connection, divine connection, and our connection eclipse. But the eclipse itself is happening at 19 degrees. And if you notice, Chiron is exactly conjunct the eclipse, also at 19 degrees. That's a big deal. Chiron represents the wounded healer. He is teaching us to let go of anything, any insecurities that we have about knowing who we are. The journey that we're on is you need to discover who you are. We're on the major, like the fool's journey. That's the biggest theme of this eclipse. And it is Aries season. And according to the ancient Atlanteans, Aries season is the beginning. It's the initiation. It's the first season of the year. So it's like you get going, you spark to life with the fire of Aries, your cycle of growth for the year, your journey as the hero. And that is so important because it means that the biggest thing that we need to focus right now is on ourselves, not in a ego kind of way, but in a do you know who you are kind of way. Do you know your identity? Do you feel grounded within yourself? Even all the things that make you different and quirky and all this stuff, like can you accept all the parts of you? Because that's what the Chiron energy is asking us to do. It's healing the self. So it is, yes, 100% letting go of the old you so that the new you can emerge. The other important thing that is happening here is Mercury is also conjunct this eclipse. Mercury just went retrograde. What is today? Like 2 days ago on the 1st. So he's going to be retrograde for the eclipse. He'll continue to be retrograde until the next full moon that we are going to have in Scorpio. And then he'll go direct after that. So basically that full moon in Scorpio that's going to happen is going to close off this eclipse season, meaning like the portal is closed. From the moon before the two eclipses to the moon after, that's like the wider orb of the eclipse. And that portal will close with that full moon in Scorpio. And then Mercury will go direct. So right now, Mercury in Aries, conjunct this eclipse, is saying, slow down. Hello, Jeanette. Take time to process, but mostly to reevaluate everything that you have initiated so far. Is this what you truly want to initiate in your life? Because it's almost like you are going to fate yourself to the choices that you make right now. That's why it's really intense, because you don't want to make important decisions during a Mercury retrograde. You want to reflect during a Mercury retrograde. You want to like go inward and like ask yourself all the questions. So in a way, this is a really powerful internal moment of reflection individually. And if you think about it collectively for humanity, it's who are we as a human race? Who are we, as humans on this planet? What is our identity? Like, what is our role? Do we know who we are? And of course, we're getting a lot of answers, and there's so much clarity happening right now. So much is being revealed, so much truth is coming to light, and there's also a huge fog as well, where things are very confusing, and it's really hard to know, like, who do I trust? Like, it's like the world of information in general has really lost grasp of itself. And I'm talking about like social media and the internet and things like that. It's a really crazy time to be alive in terms of technology and information that moves everywhere. And I think that it's getting to a point where it's getting so confusing and overwhelming that a lot of people are having to stop and like turn off the phone for a second and like come back to earth, right? Like earth to humans. Where are you? Like, I feel like it's been an amazing thing to have all this information and all this access to information, because for myself personally, I've learned so much. I've like studied so much on the internet and like taken so many courses that wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't available. And at the same time, it's like, it gets to the point of overwhelm, and then it doesn't feel good. It's not a good thing, because we lose ourselves and we forget who we are, and we forget to ground ourselves to the earth. So this is also a great moment to ground yourself to the earth, to remember the simplicity of things. So if you sit in meditation and prayer for this eclipse, you're tuning into the cycles. And that's what I think is such a powerful thing that we need to do right now. We need to remember the cycles. We need to remember that life on this planet works in cycles. That's why I called my book Seasons and Stargates, because I wanted to focus on the fact that we live, like the astrology is cyclical. We go through the seasons, and especially with tropical astrology, you have in the spring equinox, Aries season. In the summer solstice, you have Cancer season. In the fall equinox, you have Libra. And in the winter solstice, you have Capricorn. It's connected to the astrology. Originally, it would be like spring would be Taurus, summer would be Leo, the fixed signs, right? Fall would be Scorpio, and then winter would be Aquarius. So the 4 fixed signs are like the eagle, the man, the lion, and the bull. Hello, Darcy. Welcome in. So all of those 4 energies, we've been talking a lot about them in our Starseed Astrology School, and in our Moon Goddess training, level 1, which we're doing right now, because those are ancient symbols of the story of creation, expression, experimentation, integration, and transcendence. So the beauty of it is we live in a world of cycles. We live in a world of, things always like they go in circles, the law of rhythm, the law of vibration, the law of cause and effect. And when we understand how the universe works, then everything can change. We can align ourselves. And this is what this eclipse is really asking us to do. Like, align yourself, know who you are, find yourself, discover your inner truth, and be that, and fully be that, without getting lost in relationships that don't serve you, where you lose your sense of self. So the right thing is to have relationships that support the growth of the other person, even if that growth outgrows the relationship. We don't function that way. We get addicted and we get attached and we get super codependent. And that South Node Libra is all about that. And it's like, we can't let go. We can't decide, you know? And so can you be in a real supportive relationship where you love each other, you know, so much that the growth of the other person and each other and each individual person in the relationship is just as important, if not more, than the actual relationship. You know, some people might choose to not grow and stay where they are, and then maybe they'll live happy lives. And maybe that is exactly what they came here to do in this lifetime. So you can't judge anyone for whatever they choose. For myself personally, personal growth, and like evolution has been such a huge part of my life always. And it's because it's always come from a place of I want to know the truth about things. And it's come from a place of I know that there's more to this world that exists to our limited time-space perception. And I know that there's mystery and magic to be discovered. And then lucky was I to find someone who's also on that like trajectory and path. And that's why it's like good alignment. That's what you want. Not to get lost in your relationships, but to support each other in the growth of the relationship so that each person can be strong individually and therefore be strong for the relationship itself. That's why each of us right now has to find ourselves. Aries is the self. And as we do that, that is how we help the collective. That's why this is such a beautiful message. I want to show you, and just a little bit of the book for those of you guys that haven't gotten it. There is a section for each new and full moon. There's a section for the general energy of the season. And there's a section for the astrology of the season. And so this is where we are now with the book. We're at the new moon total solar eclipse in Aries, which is happening on the Andromeda and Altair stargates. Andromeda asks for the liberation of the soul, to literally cut the chains from anything that does not serve you, that is literally holding you down, chaining you up to the past, to your old self. Altair is the Eagle Star, and it's about rising up to the heavens and seeing from a bird's eye view a higher perspective. So like cut the chains and then spread your wings and fly is basically what this eclipse is saying through the lens of the STARSEED energy. The eclipse is connected to the root chakra. And so it's also asking us to ground ourselves and to pay attention to the reproductive system, because the reproductive system has to do with birthing things into life. And this is the energy of Aries, birthing something to life, initiating something in our lives. So root chakra has to be strong and has to hold it down for the rest of them to be able to do the work that they do. If you don't have stable root chakra, there's no stability anywhere else. You have to be grounded. And this eclipse is happening on the 51st gene key in the gene keys, and then the 51st gate in human design. We'll talk about the gate when we get to that broadcast in a couple of days, in a couple of days. I think I'm doing it on Saturday. But we are going to talk about the 51st gene key during this broadcast. So I wanted to just read to you what I wrote about this eclipse. So the biggest theme of this eclipse is deep internal self-healing. We need to align our mind, that's Mercury, our desire, that's Venus, and our emotions, the moon, to what we want for ourselves. This is the only eclipse we are going to see in Aries this year, so it is a big call to pay attention to the direction to which we are going. We have been doing deep healing work in relation to our identity. This eclipse is the call to ask yourself, do I know who I am? Do I know what I want? Do I know how to communicate that? Do I know how to manifest what I want? Do I know how to communicate that? Do I know how to manifest that? Do I know how to embody that? Do I understand that this process is a process of releasing the old version of me and opening up to a whole new me? If you were still asking yourself, who's coming with me, like on this new path, you missed the boat. No one is coming with you on this new adventure, because this new journey is all about embracing your fears and taking a leap of faith for yourself. The journey is your own. And the sooner you realize this, the sooner you will begin to understand the true nature of the powerful shift that's happening right now. Wanting others to come with you, or wanting to stay where you are comfortable and not taking any risks, is the literal opposite direction that you're supposed to go. We have all the support we need to make that change right now. It would be a shame not to take advantage of it. It is time to make a choice, time to set the intention for your year ahead, and it has all to do with who you are and what kind of hero you will become along the way. More than likely, you will feel that the correct direction. There are infinite possibilities and lots of change coming. So get on the roller coaster ride and make it a good one. I love that. I just wanted to read that because that's super fun. And the other thing that I didn't mention too is that Venus is right there in Aries too. So this is a huge Aries stellium. Venus represents our desire, what we truly want. North node is destiny, path. Emotions is the moon. Soul is the sun. Chiron is healing, and Mercury is the mind. So huge Aries stellium here. I mean, it's quite obvious all these planets are basically saying the same thing, right? It's kind of crazy. But what I want to do is read about the gene key that this moon is found in. And it is the 51st gene key. I am reading from the Gene Keys book by Richard Rudd, if you're curious about it. This gene key is described as initiative to initiation. And this is the sort of higher, what I'm going to read about is the highest frequency possible with this energy. So this gene key moves from the shadow of agitation. So if you're feeling agitated, I mean, aren't we all? This shadow moves to the gift of initiative and the city of awakening. Hello, Valerie. Welcome in. So here we go. The 51st city, awakening. The thunder of your giving. The phenomenon of awakening has captivated human beings for millennia. We are entranced that certain people seem to go through experiences that permanently alter them and put them in touch with the reality that we cannot see but can still sense. Of course, there are many interpretations of the word awakening within the halls of spirituality. It may seem to many that there are grades and levels of awakening. Many of the new interpretations of awakening view consciousness as a ladder that can be ascended rung by rung. Even this work on the 64 gene keys presents the evolution of consciousness as a rising energetic frequency through your genetics, resulting in changes in the operating system of your body and awareness. There is also a huge body of provisos at the spiritual level coming from the mouths of both the genuine teachers and the false prophets. Hello, Jill. To add yet another layer to the story, humanity is currently at one of the most potent crossroads within our genetic and spiritual evolution. At such times, the voices come thick and fast, the voices of doom and the voices of hope, each declaring their truth. The 51st city sweeps all these requirements and systems aside. It makes everything simple and clear. For the 51st city, there are only two states of consciousness: awake and asleep. Of course, from within the Siddhic state, this division into awake and asleep is simply a matter of rhetoric, but it also holds true on the material plane. Something occurs to a person before they enter a Siddhic state. Something unpredictable and without cause. Something momentous. No one can put into words what happens to someone as they enter a Siddhic state. There are things that must always remain a mystery, even to science. There may be sciences of awakening before awakening, but there are no sciences after awakening. Therein lies the paradox. The 51st city is beyond spiritual jargon and systems. It has language of its own, and that language is simple and shocking. It says that until you are awake, you are asleep. There are no levels within awakening. To the 51st city, all ordering of consciousness is absurd. It is simply done by people who are asleep, grading the patterns of their sleep. What then is awakening? And how do you tell when someone is awake and when someone is not? Ooh, this is going to trigger a lot of people. These are the great questions of the sleeping world. If you were to ask someone who is awake these same questions, they would probably say that it doesn't matter, and that until you are awake, you will never know why it doesn't matter. Such things only matter to those who are not awake. The fact is that awakening does not make you different, not in terms of your deepest consciousness, but in terms of your physical genetic vehicle and its functioning. By the same token, you could argue that awakening might one day be genetically manipulated by science. In theory, this might even be possible. However, as long as human beings are asleep, they will not bother throwing their valuable resources into such spiritual aspirations. The lower frequencies are based on self-interest, and awakening does nothing in that direction. Added to this, awakening is such a delicate evolutionary process. It is not the result of individual effort, but is a spontaneous evolutionary leap made possible by wider evolutionary forces operating throughout the entire universe. In short, awakening is a mystery that prevents its own nature from being solved or replicated. From within our deep sleep, we are desperate to understand this phenomenon of awakening. However, in the language of the 51st city, it is a mystery that will not yield to pressure. We may even wonder if there are signs to show a person is close to awakening, and we have certainly tried to create paths towards awakening. There are no signs. Awakening has happened to nice people and to nasty people, nor are there paths, despite what even awakened beings have laid down for us. To be awake is a grand dilemma. No matter what you say, it will be misrepresented. So in the end, you simply say whatever you say and trust the vibration underneath it. Awakening is also easy to fake. Anyone with a powerful aura can claim awakening or even believe that they are awake. Mystical experience can also be mistaken for awakening. There are so many types of mystical encounters and visionary states that occur to human beings all the time, but awakening is something entirely different from all of these. Many of the great mystical visionaries and even the great revelations or systems that come through them still do not touch the true field of awakening. True awakening simply sees through everything and has nothing whatsoever to do with behavior or experience. Neither does awakening come and go. When it comes, it stays forever. As you read each of the 64 cities described within this book, you begin to have a good notion of how diverse the behavior patterns of awakening really are. The 51st city is the ground beneath every one of these cities, and no one can attain these states without true awakening. In words, awakening is a permanent dissolving of the separate self and occurs through a physical mutation within the body. No amount of meditation or spiritual practice can bring about this mutation, even though they may or may not precede awakening. It is not possible to influence this mutation because it has nothing to do with your experience or behavior. This is the grandest spiritual illusion of them all. Human beings do not readily take no for an answer. We like to feel that we can do something. However, this is the one area where you cannot do anything other than be yourself. Awakening occurs to someone who is so much themselves that it is simply has no choice but to occur. The irony here is that you cannot work at being yourself. Hi Cohen, this is the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. It is simply an innate gift. You can see how the shadow of agitation bleeds through this gene key at the highest level. Even when you are awake, you can still see the spiritual agitation that your presence causes others. The fact is that the Siddhic state is a leap out of all levels, and it is a leap into the void. Nothing can prepare you for the leap, and nothing definite precedes the leap. Neither is the leap a leap that you take. It is more as though the leap takes you. The 51st city contains many other secrets. Among them are the secrets of initiation. The universe we inhabit is constantly initiating all forms. The world of form is constantly impacting into itself. Atoms collide with atoms. Asteroids collide with planets. Humans collide with each other in relationships. It is a game of penetration in which everything is trying to penetrate everything else. Every penetration is a sense of shock and results in a mutation or transformation of some kind. Death itself is the transformation of one form back into its constituent forms. Before awakening, forms are still forms. So we are always at risk of some kind of impact or shock. Such shocks are really initiations in which the boundaries of your world are shaken. After awakening, all forms are experienced as interpenetrating each other, so there are no longer any shocks or impact. There is no localization of awareness in the body in order for a shock to take place. Initiation always demands an environment, and awakening brings an end to the very concept of environment. As we have seen, there is a great deal of confusion concerning the concept of awakening. It is a permanent mutation at a physical level, resulting in a fundamental change in the perceptive apparatus in the body. The ancient Chinese represented the 51st hexagram to the symbol of thunder. And it really does take us by surprise. Awakening is always a surprise. It comes once and only once, and after it has come, it stays forever. Once you are awake, you cannot go back to sleep. You can't go back into the matrix, sorry. The thunder within this gene key is the thunder of life itself. It is the thunder of your giving. The awakening one becomes a vessel that knows only how to give of itself, there being no friction preventing life from flowing through. This giving is love, but it may or may not manifest as affectionate love. In truth, it is cosmic, universal love. There is one final thing to say about the 51st city that is of great impact at this time in our evolution. Thus far, we have only considered the 51st city at an individual level, but it also operates at a far wider level. As an aspect of the ring of humanity, this gene key ensures that one day all of humanity will awaken. Indeed, in the times to come, this city will begin to awaken entire gene pools. There will come a time in which relationships will awaken, then families and entire communities, until finally the thunder will be heard throughout the human genome. At this stage, humanity itself will awaken as an individual cosmic being and will see its own true nature. As with individual awakening, this is not a gradual phenomenon, even though it may appear so. It is a sudden, unexpected shock in awareness that is preceded by a mutative chain reaction through your cells and DNA. When humanity awakens, it will move beyond time. That single moment when humanity opens its true eyes for the first time will be the greatest single event in the history of awareness itself. Whoa. So there you have it. Those that were asking, this is the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. Highly recommend pulling your Gene Keys chart and studying this book. It's freaking amazing. He's such a good writer. All right. So there you have it, you guys. The astrology of this very, very powerful eclipse that is happening on April 8th. Thank you guys all so much for being here during this broadcast. Please check out all of the links below. Come join us in our global community. Come join us for the celebration and virtual dance party at Club Jai. Also a free event that will be happening on April 8th in the evening. And come join us here in this channel as well to watch the human design transit reading of this eclipse. So thank you. Have a beautiful week. And I will see you guys all again soon. Sat Nam.